Alright, let's look at the location apparatus. Okay, here's the floor plan. I didn't hyperlink these because I made them PDF split PDFs and I merged them together. So, one, is over here. And we'll look. So, these all have numbers designated. And then you can go to location apparatus, which shows all the numbers. And then we'll look at, so you have your sand trap and reference number, part description, number 1 and number 2 engines, fuel tank, air reserves, air compressor, toilet, fireman, steps, door dash, compartment dash, series air, conductors. And those are laid in the floor plan. So let's look at where the floor, what we have here. Okay, this is a side view elevation 2D drawing. Shows the location PDF of I made it into a PDF, and then it shows the allocation chart, and then we continue to move through here. The first couple pages are blank. And then it goes over your electrical schematics. This one shows a voltage regulator running from the traction motors to the voltage regulator. Here we have shield. This would be the DC power to the traction motors. Over here, yellow, kind of hard. The whole wiring with the engines, 2 different engines, fuel pump, and then it shows all the electrical, radiator, fan, electrical, how that's done. Guns on a rheostat, so there's a low, medium, and a high. And then shunt wall for the voltage regulator. Check out the card trick. You need to have an open card, kind of closed card socket, just like a deck of cards in the video. And we get through then we get to the electrical, the part apparatuses, and I show these out. So then it shows the figure, and then it would show your NSNs, your description, your part number. So we have, this is 240 pages. So you're going to look at location apparatus, X-type locomotive, spec, and we can scroll down through here, and then it shows all the different parts and their PDF part references. This actually includes the terminal boards, which I expanded into a program, their location, the battery, and it shows battery box where I got the technical manual from. It was approved for public release. I changed A and B and coupler. So we have all the NSNs for your coupler, draft gears, which I might have modified one for a different invention, but I didn't put it with the spec so far. And so we're looking at the location apparatus. They're found in this 247 with the electrical schematics. And then you have your cutting lever, all your extra parts that you don't need to build, such as doors and electrical cabinet doors. And then we'll move on to photoelectric schematic. And then it shows, I broke down my drawings. This is the locomotive set of drawing symbols that were used in the technical manual for switches. And then we go through each one, shows the different part in schematics where they would be line up. So then from there, after we took all these different schematics and we made our own location up there, and we have broken down into parts, several different electrical schematics you can look at. So then we go to Adam's design. This is basically the dual control stand in the front. I mirrored it like over here. This would be beneath, as you saw the air piping schematic video. And then shows the rear control stand would be a single one. And you don't really want to change that. Like keep the throttles the same. Shows the PDF part references for all the controls for the locomotive. And then we get into the front and rear consoles. And I didn't want to, you have your push buttons. So we have left control stand, right control stand. Let me back out of this. And then I actually did this. I've been building this thing for 5, 6, 7 years. Front rear controls, consoles, just left control, right control, and then it goes from front headlight, right headlight, step lights, cowling lights, and that would be on your front. The following list is left, right button control listed once, both front and left and right control stand. So gauges, and then it goes through the lights, and then we'd have resistors, and these are basically, like, I can't tell you what kind of light to put in, how many watts, or what the resistors were going to be, but they're, like, I marked them down in left control stand, right control stand. So over here you'd have a switch. Like, I'm not Radio Shack, and I'm not really, like, so this is the best I could do. And then rear control stand, and it would show rear control stand, lights on, resistors, right control stand, left control stand, reverse short, forward position, reverse, right control stand showing forward position, right control stand, left control stand. This is the master control for left and right. And then from there, your throttle notches, right control stand. So all these this is a push button, this is resistor. So I'm not Radio Shack. I'm not gonna look up so basically when you see a push button, we just put in we'd find the switch, and we would put in the switch, a push button here. So they're all notated, but like they're not, I'm not Radio Shack, so I'm not going to go into each one of them. So number 1, following list is front cab, left control shed, emergency fuel cutoff, temperature relay. And it shows it on the left, right, bank control in the front. And then it would show you your rear control stand and same stuff, number 1, number 2 diesel engines. Okay, so that goes over the control mergers. So this would be a meter, so any type meter, battery voltmeter. So that's the controls. This is the location apparatus, which can be found in the X-type locomotive spec, which is about 247 pages. It notates every part that's there. So we're looking at the engineer's heater, and then it would show the engineer's heater and the part number, and it goes through the whole locomotive apparatus. Plus, we have design merger control stands, like for rear photoelectric book, just where I learned how to do most of the electrical schematics I got from this one. There should be a so you would switch, and this would be a rear control stand, throttles, meters, and if you read all these, you might be able to master. See, air compressor. I was gonna. So Adams design merger. That you have your part location with a PDF mark and the intermediate maintenance, your photoelectric schematic on location apparatus, and control merger designs, dual air brake stand, and this would so this is kind of covering these. I didn't hyperlink them because I PDF mark reference them, which is actually in a location chart, but I merged them together for simplicity. Thank you.